It's hard. It's very, very hard to have a business in the first place. There's a lot of rules you got to follow. There's all kinds of money involved in starting it up. But I think when you have a community that supports you and that's there to help you, that's important.
Hype's philosophy is based on giving back to the community that supports them. Most recently, Trisha donated her time to choreograph a dance routine for a special group of Torrance employees. Each year, the city of Torrance honors a select group of employees for their years of service to the city. This year, in honor of these hardworking, dedicated employees, City Cable Channel 3 teamed up with Hype Studios to create a unique way of acknowledging these employees. And it wasn't surprising to find that with Trisha's expertise, we could bring hundreds of employees of all backgrounds together through the art of dance. People from all walks of life in the community, from those who drive the city's buses, to the police lieutenants and firefighters, to the city clerk, all came together to celebrate each other's years of service to the city. Trisha says the community's support and participation in helping her build the business is the biggest reason Hype is succeeding despite the economic recession.
We could not have done it without our students. You know, and fortunately for me, I had taught through Torrance Parks and Recreation before, and I had some students, and I taught at different locations, and people enjoyed my classes. So fortunately, when I opened up, I had a clientele, but to someone who's wanting to start a business, you have to have support and backing, because otherwise you can't do it by yourself. It's too much.
But running a successful small business is not without its challenges. One of the challenges of running a small business like Trisha's is nurturing a staff of artists while maintaining a structure and meeting deadlines.
I think one of the most difficult things is that we work with artists. And artists are very creative and very, let's do this now. And I think reining them in and getting everybody to follow a structure is probably one of my most challenging things. But at the same time, I think as a business owner, it's up to me to not stifle them and to let them, you know, react in their own ways and teach in their own ways, but guide them in a way that, you know, fits with what we're trying to do at Hype Studios.
But Trisha says her greatest challenge is also her best resource.
They have a great personality. They're comforting. Like, students come in and they're so afraid. You know, when you first start, it's like, oh, dance class, I'm scared to go. But our teachers immediately, as soon as our students walk in, they just put them at ease. And that's one of the biggest compliments we get all the time, is that, oh, I was so nervous, but I walked in and the teacher just immediately made me feel comfortable, and I can't believe it took me so long to come in. So I love my staff.
I love teaching. I love it. I love the joy that I love about teaching is the fact of pouring out so much into the students, and then when they leave the class, they've learned something. So that's what I love the most, is the fact that they came in here like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I show them a little something, and then they get it. And then it's like, yeah, it blows my mind. And they've got their mind blown, and both of our minds are blown. And then they walk out like, oh, yeah, guess what I learned? Sometimes I even say at the end of class, so when you go home or tell your sister or your friend or your mom, hey, look what I learned. But they never did it before. So now they've learned it. It's good for me. It's great. I learned a lot of humility from my students. Another thing is when I see my students, I learn from them what I used to be. And that was a student. And the more that I see like, oh, you know what? I can still grow. I can continue to keep learning. That's what I take from them. And I make sure that I never get so big that I say, you know what? Oh, yeah, I'll get to you later. It's about the choreography. That's when I start missing the point. But more I see those students and I grow from them and I see them and I go, wow, I used to be just like you. I want you to grow up, you know, and be the better.
I think dance is really the only art where you don't need anything else except you, because the heartbeat is your rhythm. And the humming is the song that happens with your bloodstream, with your tissues, whatever's going on in your body. That's a part of your music. So you could just hum, and you could dance all day just from humming, or thinking of something wonderful, or watching a tree, or watching water. These are all forms of movement.
At Hype, students can sample different art forms without being confined to one style. Tricia says that's a key component of why Hype's business model does so well.
That, I think, is something that's cool with Hype, is because you have a package. You can either pay as you go, or you can buy a package and save money, but you can use that package towards any class you want to. So you don't have to just sign up for one class and only take that class.
Being a good dummy.
Well, being a good dummy, I am.
That's the motivation. That's what keeps me going. Those are the things that keep me creating even more. And that's why at first I was teaching pop locking. And pop locking is something that I learned from New York, from the streets. I mean, I used to go to the basement parties and be that one kid with the flat top this high, you know, learning from somebody in the park and then taking those moves and then dancing. And all of a sudden, I was like, wow, you know what? I've learned all this stuff. What else can I learn? You know what I mean? So my mom, she taught African and all these things. And I was like, let me absorb a little bit of that too. Then I was like, martial arts. Oh, you know what? I want to do that. And then when Crump came out, it was perfect because now I can mix whatever I want. I can mix my pop locking, hip hop, martial arts, everything. If you had a really bad day or you had a hard day or you just feel like I want to get some tension out, come to this class. This is perfect for you. Or even if you don't have any tension at all, but you're just really kind of like, oh yeah, I don't know. Let's tap into that and bring it out.
Dancers say their success in class translates into achievement in other areas of their life.
I think it's fun, and what I found after being on the TV show, and some other people have told me, they're surprised that I can dance at this age like this, and I think, you know, you can do anything if you just want to do it. Just start doing it.
Never give up. Even if you mess up the first 5 times you do it, you're always going to mess up. Never think that you're so great that you're going to go out in a b-boy battle if you're going to become a breaker, or go out in a locking circle and be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. If you stumble, you got to make a freeze out of it. Or if you mess up in locking, you got to make something else out of it. You never give up. That's the one rule in dance.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely inspired to start dancing. I'm Perrine Bakshay, and thank you so much for joining us here on Common Sense. We'll be looking for you out on the dance floor. If you know of another business you'd like to see featured here on Common Sense, please send an email to commonsense@torranceca.gov. We look forward to seeing you next time.